We have the 90s queen in the house today. Someone whose name has ruled the silver screen and the dance floor. With a career spanning over 3 decades, she's dazzled audiences with her amazing acting skills and her sizzling dance numbers. Her songs "Tu Cheez Badi Hai Mast Mast," "Akhiyon Se Goli Mare," "Tip Tip Barsa Pani" dominated the charts back then and continue to be the party anthems even today. And guess what? She's still as mesmerizing as ever, defying age with her unparalleled talent, timeless beauty and infectious energy. Please put your hands together as we celebrate the remarkable legacy of everyone's favorite, Padma Shri Raveena Tandon.
Hello. Nice to meet
Pleasure
you.
having you on the show. Oh, thank you.
Yes.
The new COVID norms.
Yes, the new COVID norm.
Raveena, you belong to a film family. Your father being the filmmaker Ravi Tandon. Considering the ongoing debate on nepotism, was it easy for you then to make your debut in Patthar Ke Phool? You also won the Best Female Debut Filmfare Award for Patthar Ke Phool. Could you describe your journey both before signing the film and after its release?
Honestly, I'm actually in this industry by default.
Okay.
I never ever thought of acting, and neither did any of my parents. I never grew up with the fact that, oh, I'm going to become a heroine one day. And so I never had those dreams or illusions about myself. I was a nice, plump, fat little kid with oil in her hair and 2 plaits. And so when people started asking my father, oh, are you going to launch Raveena? Because a lot of producer directors were already launching their daughters, etc. And my father would turn around and say, really? But I don't think she's interested. Neither was I, actually. And I said no to a many number of movies. And I started working instead, straight after my 10th, I started doing internship with Prahlad Kakkad.
That film.
I was doing my post and pre-production work with him. And I was the stand-in model because with Prahlad, every time someone would not turn up, it would be me. Raveena ko khada kar do, her face is fine. You know, and all of them used to keep telling me that you are not meant to be behind the camera. What are you doing there? You know, you should be doing more. So I did a couple of ads here and there for pocket money in that space. I was in that happy space assisting Prahlad, etc. And then Maine Pyar Kiya had just released, became a very big hit. Before that, I'd already said no to 5 films. And I was in the college canteen and I came in and I said, guess who I got offered a film with? And they said, who? I said, Salman Khan. And all my friends were like, yeah. And they were like, please, yaar, tu ye film haan kar de, uske baad tu mana kar de, tu industry chhod de, tu kuch bhi kar de, but just say yes to this film. So I said yes. Next day, I did the photo shoot with Salman, and 3rd day I was facing the camera. It was literally like that.
After your debut in 1991, Raveena, you had close to 10 releases in 1994, including successful film that year like Mohra, Dilwale and Ladla. Today's actors typically do about 2 to 3 films a year. My question is research, right? You went on from one set to the other. I'm sure these roles were all diverse. How did you manage to do research in these iconic characters that you've played, doing probably 3 shifts a day?
Okay, those days there was no research.
No research. Okay.
We didn't have the time for research.
Okay.
There was no research. Everything was spontaneous. And in fact, there were times when you've reached the set and you're sitting ready, waiting on the set, and the writer's sitting there writing the scene still. So you're like, "Arey, dialogues to de do, bolna kya hai?" You know, it was literally like that. Now is that whole concept of workshops, and you do a month of workshops and this, and you get your readings and this. No, we didn't do anything of that sort. Everything was spontaneous and on the spot. But nonetheless, the kind of characters that I'm playing also now, whether you see a KGF 2, you see an Aranyak, you see Karma Calling, or you see now Patna Shukla that has come in, or you see a Matra, which I did just before KGF 2. The characters are very mature, probably evolved people, so to speak, and it's almost of coming of age, you know, as to where you've reached that point in your life where things are happening to you and you kind of know how to deal with. You're not that 16 lost in the woods babe. And I've always said I'd like to do roles that suit my age and I can do with dignity and grace rather than trying to do something that I'm not apt with.
Now we'll talk about the taglines associated, right? And I think one tagline that is, or tag that is associated with you is reminiscing from an old dance number that you did, which is the Mast Girl. Now, when you were doing that back then, did you ever imagine that this will be such a rage that even today the song is played on pubs, discos, and you've been called the Mast Girl?
So, nonetheless, when we were shooting for that, we knew it was a hit song.
You did?
Yeah,
Okay.
of course. You recognize a song when it's catchy, and yes, people will like that. That much you know.
Sure.
But the kind of a global phenomena that song became, where it was just a complete craze. I remember we did an entire world tour, concerts just based on that song. It was called the Mast Tour. It went viral globally, actually. Now you have these new remixes that are coming in.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So every song that's picked up of mine and a remix has come, I am very
Akhiyon se
happy with that
goli mare.
situation.
So many.
Exactly. I tell people it's a win-win situation because whoever does the song or wherever they do the song gets a new life. The Gen Z is relating to it. It gets a new beat, a new life. And then ultimately I get to own it all over again. So it's a win-win situation. So it's like forget anyone else.
Okay, fair. Let's talk about awards, right? And you've got plenty of them to your credit, right? Right from your debut film, which got a Filmfare Award, right, to a national award, to a Padma Shri, right? With the entire concept of awards in today's time and age a bit diluted, right? I have two-part question. One is how relevant are awards today for a brand like yours? The fact that you've had so many of them, and also any let's say a global award that you aspire to achieve.
Well, honestly, right from the beginning, I have not been an award person.
Okay.
Because to a certain extent, awards had a certain amount of credibility, but some of the genuine awards are still very much there, and they are very much respected still. But now awards are dime a dozen because social media has taken over.
Right.
There are so many platforms. Every platform or every website has started their own award.
Sure.
So sometimes you really don't know which award you should attend or which one you shouldn't. But yeah, the main standing ones are important. Some of them have been pioneers which have been coming down, through the industry. So when you do get these awards and that appreciation is there, yes, it does give any artist joy.
Let's come to KGF, right? What a hit, and it's amongst the top 3 films of all times.
Yes.
Right? How has been the post-KGF phase, right? Because it's not just consolidated and got you back in the news as an actor, right? As a star, but also got a whole new audience, which is the regional South audience, right? So tell us the post-KGF phase, and when you were signing KGF, did you anticipate this madness?
Actually, in the 90s, I did a lot of South films.
Okay.
In fact, like you said, I did Matra, and before that, I'd already done another Telugu film, which was also a hit.
Telugu films, okay.
Yeah. I've done about 5 Telugu films.
Oh, wow. I was not aware. Fair.
I've done, and I've done a Kannada film also with Upendra.
Okay.
Before KGF, which was also a cult classic, actually.
Oh, lovely.
So whenever I go to Mangalore, they have this song, like you said, the tag, Mast Mast. There is a tag, Mast Mast Hudigi, which they made the song for me in Kannada.
That's such a refreshing.
So that's a super hit song from the Kannada industry.
So you already have a huge base in the South.
I do have a certain amount of base there, not a
Lovely.
huge base probably. And I've done a lot of hit films. I've worked with Venkatesh, I've worked with Nagarjun, I've worked with, I did Alavantanan in Tamil with Kamal Hassanji.
You worked with almost every superstar in South.
I actually enjoyed working in the South.
Okay.
So for me, it was not that I worked in the South and then came into the Hindi film industry. I was already in the Hindi film industry first.
Language barrier? It was difficult for you?
It was difficult because that first film that I did, Bangar Buludu, I remember it was my 2nd or 3rd day and suddenly I got these 5 pages of Telugu.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, how am I ever going to memorize 5 pages of this in a heavy emotional scene? So they said, no, we'll help you with prompting and stuff. So I kind of managed with that. But that was the toughest day I remember of mine that I faced. I just couldn't remember, just 5 pages suddenly doing an emotional scene. But it takes you time and then you get used to that. Then you get into the thing and you start understanding the language also and enjoying it. So I understand a lot of Telugu. I understand a lot of Tamil.
At the young age of 21, Raveena, you made a courageous decision to adopt kids. This is 1995 we're talking about, a time when single motherhood and adoption were hardly discussed openly. What was the moment like when you decided to adopt children? What was going through your mind during that time?
You know, the inspiration behind most of the work that I do, for whether it's for animals or it's for the girl child or it's the empowerment of women, it's been my mum. She's been doing that for the longest time, and I would always obviously be with her. So that kind of inspires you, and you draw, you absorb what you're seeing. And I've seen little babies being abandoned. I've seen them, being brought up. I've been with them. I've worked for orphanages, and here was an example that I saw happen right in front of my eyes, where I saw these two girls being born, where I thought that they should have deserved to get a better life, and I thought that I could give that to them. And since they were actually my relatives' kids, so it was not very far from home. Sure. My parents were with me, and they were absolutely fine with the idea. They said, yes, why not? Of course, we look after. And they were more the grandparents to them than what I was. I was shooting in those days most of the time. So it was just that decision taken. My parents were with me, and that was it. I didn't need anyone else's validation.
Now, how important is it for a brand or an individual today to believe and abide by the purpose, right? Because you're not just doing one cause, you've dabbled in multiple causes. Is there a plan in the future to put them under one umbrella of a foundation? Right?
I do have my running foundation.
You do have your running foundation.
Which is called the Rudra Foundation. In
Right.
fact, we did a lot of work during COVID. In fact, when Delhi was absolutely bereft of any oxygen left in that city, we sent trucks of oxygen cylinders from here, from Mumbai. We sent it to the army camp, we sent it to the Supreme Court, we sent it to the police and their relatives. We sent it to the Radhaswami Satsang Byas camp. So this is the kind of work that I've been doing. The broader picture is that we will continue doing this kind of work, but there's nothing that I have planned, so to speak, to take this internationally or anything. But whenever and wherever and however we get a chance to do or make a difference, we try and do that.
Time for a quick break on Kiska Brand Bajega. I'd like to say a special thanks to my clothing partner, Pavan Sachdeva, and our furniture partner, Urban Ladder. We'll be back soon after a quick break. How do you handle so much of love that's coming your way from the opposite sex?
I think it's very, very, very kind, and I'm very grateful, but the appreciation kind of just overwhelms you at times, and you're like, thank you, God, for whatever, and thank you, audiences, for all the love.
Welcome back to Kiska Brand Bajega. We are in conversation with the ravishing Raveena. Raveena, back in the day, there was certainly a lot of competition amongst actresses. These days, every celebrity is on social media, making reels, following trends. My question to you is, do you monitor and see what your contemporaries are doing on digital? And do you think it's important to be on social media to stay relevant in today's age?
Well, it's a bit of an entertainment, and it is a bit of a professional necessity. The brands you endorse and everything that you do, they want you to have a certain amount of visibility on social media, and that's the new Gen Z relevance factor, which you would say that as long as you're on social media, they recognize you through that. That means you're relevant. But my daughter actually helps me a lot in that.
Okay.
But I do not keep up with the trends.
So what we've done is, you've got close to more than 9 million followers on Instagram. So we've actually gone through your profile and found some very interesting comments and memes that you should definitely see and react to. So can we have a look? What is the procedure to reverse the age, man? I'm sure you get this a lot.
I tell people, फ्रिज में सब्जी रखो वो भी फ्रेश दिखती है तो तुम फ्रिज में सोया करो.
Okay, lovely. That's spoken like Raveena. And yes, next one.
Yes, I've seen
Have you
this.
seen these memes?
So many people send me this on WhatsApp and other things. I have also reposted this on my stories once.
Okay,
yeah, it's
lovely.
really funny.
Next
I like
one.
that.
Right. I'm sure you replied, saying...
Yes, I did.
right? And there is another reply after
Okay,
that.
I didn't see that.
That's why we put it out there.
No, I didn't see
So
that.
the question is, how do you handle so much of love that's coming your way from the opposite sex?
I think it's very, very, very kind, and I'm very grateful, but it really, the appreciation kind of just overwhelms you at times, and you're like, thank you, God, for whatever, and thank you, audiences, for all the love.
Sure. Right. The next one, what we've done is, AI is the new buzzword, artificial intelligence.
Right.
So we've used AI to make some special movie posters for you. So can we have a look? And I would love you to react on what kind of research would go through you in your mind before you actually take on a movie like this.
Wow. Oh my God.
Would you like to play Nargis?
I would love to. I mean, I think she was so iconic because she is that one actor which made all the women in the industry realize that the concept of women-oriented super hit films started with Mother India, I think.
Yeah.
So it is an example that we keep giving even now.
Right.
And what a life. What a life she led.
Right.
What a strong, beautiful, amazing person.
And it's high time somebody makes a film on her life.
It's high time because she's, I think, iconic in her own way in everything that she's done. Whether it was even being a wife, a daughter, an actor, and the mother to Sanju and Priya and Anju. And she's been a phenomenal woman.
Yeah.
It would be an honor.
Pleasure. Let's have a look at the next one.
Oh my God, you know, I've met her.
Oh, really?
I've met her, and I've met her son, and I've even spoken to her, and I'm hoping to do her biography actually, but not me as acting, but yeah, but this looks nice actually. I don't know why I didn't think of it. I should just do it.
So this is how we've imagined, and we've got AI to the test and created film posters, and I'm sure digital, social media and filmmakers would be watching. Right.
Fabulous.
Raveena, this is our next game, Guess the Price. We'll show you a few products and all you have to do is guess their prices, right? Let's see them. Let's have a look at the first one. And these are actual products, right? Glow in the dark toilet paper. These are available online.
225 or
Lovely. What a probably a decent guess, but let's see, it's a little more
440.
double. So now you'll get
It's because it glows in the dark. Just because it glows in the dark. Okay.
The next one, a solar powered fan cam.
500 to 700 range.
500 to 700 range.
It's too much.
It's much
What?
lesser.
Okay, chalo 100 lesser only.
Chalo, next one. This is
Wait, watch. Why would anyone wear this? This should be like 600?
Yeah, we'll see. Have a look.
What?
Much more than that.
I'm very bad at this, please.
Okay.
Because I honestly would wonder why anyone would buy any of these products.
Absolutely. We wonder too. That's why
Yeah,
we
but-
tried to ask you to guess their price.
No disrespect to the
To the manufacturers.
genius brains behind
them. Perfect. The last game, right?
Okay.
And this is very simple.
Okay.
Because there's no guessing the price. We're going to have a
this
product.
is fun.
Right? We're going to have you sell a product. And that's cheese. Right? And the line is to cheese badi hai mast mast. It's as corny as
How
it can
corny
get.
could you? That's exactly the word.
But.
Help me sell corn syrup with this corny line.
But we need to have you do this in 3 different ways, right? First is in a romantic manner, right? Cheese badi hai mast mast in a romance. The actor selling cheese in a romantic avatar.
Tu cheese badi hai. Mast mast. And I love you, cheese. You set my heart on fire. Okay.
Okay. Tragedy.
Tragedy. नहीं तो चीज होगी बड़ी मस्त मस्त लेकिन ये है चीज बड़ी मस्त मस्त.
Okay, and the last one? Comedy.
Comedy.
That's the genre that you excel
कॉमेडी
in.
में क्या करेंगे ये चीज जो है ये चीज बड़ी मस्त मस्त है खाओ पियो और कहो मैं चीज बड़ी हूँ मस्त मस्त.
And thank you. That's why Raveena is what Raveena does.
What was this?
No, that's not bad. This was really good, impromptu, and a lot of fun. Right? That comes to our last question. Right?
Okay.
Right? Your daughter is entering the film industry. Your son is
Giving his board exams.
Board exams, right?
Yes.
As an actor who has lived a journey, right? What is your advice to them?
My kids, I've actually brought them up in a very, not in a sugar-coated way.
Sure.
Not really that protected. I have always told them what life is all about. I have, in fact, been very open to them about my life, my learnings, my experiences. So that maybe what mistakes I have made, maybe they don't make in the future. But sometimes you also let children make their own mistakes and learn from them.
Sure.
So it's something that I've always been very clear-cut about. There are no shortcuts to anything. If you're talented, you're hardworking, you're sincere with whatever you do, then no one can take your time away from you.
Right.
It has to come.
And that all great things come to an end. I've had a fabulous conversation with you.
Thank you
so much. There are a lot
much.
of things that I was not aware of. And now I'm saying, like me, a lot of our audiences will be very well educated, right? And will know not just Raveena, the brand, but Raveena, a person, a human being,
Thank you.
for all the
Thank
great
you.
work that she's doing.
Thank
and on
you so
that
much.
note, namaste. And thank
Namaste
you very
to
much
you too.
for coming on
Thank you.
Kiska Brand Bajega.
Thank you,
Ladies and
really.
gentlemen, Raveena Tandon.
I enjoyed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I've had quite a must conversation with Raveena Tandon, our must girl today. Hope you've had fun too. Until next time on Kiska Brand Bajega. Take care and stay awesome.